Alright guys, welcome to another video for the Poco X3 Pro. Today we are talking about the latest updates of Aero OS official based on Android 12 for this wonderful device. Installed it yesterday, been using it since then, and a fresh new review is available for you guys. So without further ado, hello awesome people, welcome to PhoneOps. My name is Kailash. Let's get going. Now let's see what we have here. We have Aero OS official, and that is for Poco X3 Pro. It works on Vayu and Bhima both. Android version is 12. This particular update was released on the 18th of February 2021. You do have the download link. And if we talk about the device changelog, of course, we will not talk about the full changelog because those are often lengthy. And these changelogs over here are on GIT Hub. So we will not get into the details here, but let's get back to Telegram and see if we have anything else mentioned. Now in the notes section, we do have OSS based available 2 version vanilla and GApps firmware 12.0. SE Linux status is enforcing, safety net should be passing, don't PM the dev, report bug on this particular chat and stuff like that. So Aero OS has been really special for a lot of reasons since day one. Now the focus of Aero OS has been simplicity, performance and fluidity. I am looking at this from the K20 Pro days. I don't know if I used it on the Poco F1, but yes, on the K20 Pro, one of my best gaming combos was around this particular ROM, and that itself says a lot because this ROM definitely deserves to be notified as far as performance is concerned. Now, even if you look at it right now, you won't get a ton of customization like Octavi OS or Havoc OS or any other custom ROM which gives you a hell lot of customization and not so many, performance numbers and stuff like that. But yes, Aero OS does score really well when it comes to smoothness. Now the animation on this ROM are somewhat faster than what I would have expected, anticipated, whatever you want to call it, but it does look good. The ROM carries it in a very nice way. Even if you swipe to the left, you do see that you have Google feed available over here, which works fine. It is not as smooth as it would be on some other custom ROMs, but yeah, it is there. Right now it's updating, so let's quickly go to the top here. Let's update the Google feed once manually. Okay, it's loaded now. Right, so it is still sort of sometimes stuttering. So the Google feed is not the smoothest as far as smoothness is concerned, but that doesn't really hold true for the user interface or the UI, because you will see that the app icon animations are fantastic. They work really nice. The closing opening animations look really good. That's a good thing. Even if you swipe from the top to bottom, you will see that you do have some customization options over here like caffeine. And if you go to the edit menu, you have your privacy access, blocking notifications and quick tiles. Apart from this, you have ambient display, heads up and a few other options. So as I said, Aero OS doesn't really focus on a lot of customization. For that matter, let's first go to settings. Let's go to about, let's go to Android version. And as you can see over here, the device name is rightly identified as Bhima, which is a first. I'm looking at it for the first time. It does come with a February security patch. It does come with the Aero kernel, and this is one of the latest builds. 12 GApps is what we are using. Now, if you go to the settings menu, you will notice that this is a very simplified Android 12 look that they're going for. They've not really done any customization here. Even if you go to things like network and internet, you go to connected devices, you go to apps. Now, in the app section as well, you don't see the game mode over here. So if you go to search and type game dashboard or game mode, let's see what we find. Game settings, default apps assistant. So no, it's not having the game mode as well. Now, if you go to notification, you do have your standard Android 12 stuff with notification history and all the other things. Of course, Monet is doing a great job. We will look at that in a bit. But apart from this, if you go to battery, you do have thermal profiles, although the 180 Hz touch sampling rate option is missing here. So that is something that they should add. You do have battery saver, battery usage. If you talk about the battery usage, the phone has been on and off. But I'll tell you this, in a day's time, it should easily give you 6 to 7 hours of mixed usage over a 24-hour of period. So the battery life on this particular ROM is pretty rock solid. No complaints there. You do have the option of battery charging light, which you can go ahead and enable. Apart from that, if you go to sound, you scroll to the bottom, you have clear speaker, you have the direct sound enhancer. So far, nothing new. Now, let's go to display over here. Under display, you do have lock screen customizations, wherein you do have the ripple effect. So let's see here. Okay, no ripple effect right now, but let's see if I can try the fingerprint. There you go. So when you use the fingerprint scanner, the ripple effect is present and it works absolutely fine. So that is a good thing. Prevent accidental wake up is there. You do have advanced settings over here. Use ambient display, pick up, raise to wake, hand wave, pocket. So if you go ahead and lock the screen over here, turn on accessibility, double tap to sleep. Okay. So yeah, settings. Right, so you do have the option of double tap to sleep. Now let's see over here. The hand wave feature, yeah, it's working. So that's a good thing. So, because this device has a LCD panel, always on display is sort of not an option over here. And in such scenarios, lift to wake up and wave to wake up sort of works really, really well. Now moving on to settings again, in display, you do have screen timeout, lock screen is what we were talking about. You do have the Monet engine customization in which you can override the color effects of the Monet UI. You can choose boosted colors over here and you have RGB customization as well. We've set the device to 120 Hz always so that you get the maximum smoothness. Status bar items is there. Then you move to wallpaper and style. You don't really have the themed icons option over here and you don't really have a lot of wallpapers. Now let's go ahead and talk about the launcher over here, for example. So go to home settings and you do have launcher 12. So in launcher settings, you can go ahead and enable themed icons. So that is something that you should not worry about as far as themed icons are concerned. And launcher 12 in its own has a ton of customization. So having launcher on any custom ROM is always a good thing. Now, if you talk about security, as you can see, you have fingerprint smart lock. So this build is basically dated 18th of February 2021. That is before Pixel Experience came up with the native face unlock. So future builds should have face unlock and the fingerprint scanner works absolutely fine. So no problem there. Moving on, if you go to the system menu, you will see that you have a gestures option over here in which you have swipe to screenshot. So that does give you access to expanded screenshot as well. So that is a good thing. And you do have a ton of options in terms of gestures over here. So even in the settings menu, you do have the updater option and all the other things. Although you don't really have over the top customizations like some other custom ROMs, but yes, you do have a ton of options which are available and they will definitely make the ROM more usable in day-to-day usage. If we go to the multitasking menu, you will see that the smoothness of the UI continues. You do have the option of screenshot. Now over here, you do have something called as lens. So that is different. And as you can see, the lens is working absolutely fine. At the top over here, you do have some options for certain applications like split screen, app info and stuff like that. The default camera of choice for the AeroOS team is Google Camera Go, which I always appreciate because it gives you a better experience compared to what you would get on some other very, very basic AOSP camera application. Now, all that said and done, what about safety net? Well, safety net passes by default. DRM info, no problem whatsoever. Play Store certification is present, so you should not have any issues using banking applications as such. But what about the performance numbers? Now, for that, we will go to Google Photos. Right, so you also get unlimited storage as far as Google Photos is concerned. Now let's look at the benchmark numbers. Now this is the CPU throttle test. CPU throttled to 92% of its max performance and the average score was 180,808 GIPS, which is a decent number in my opinion. If you move on to Antutu benchmark, although you're not getting as high as Dubfest to be honest, but you are getting decent performance. 588,725 is a good score because this phone normally scores 560, 570 as far as the stock ROM is concerned. Even if you go to Geekbench. Now in Geekbench, there was some disappointment because the multi-core score turned out to be quite low. I'm used to looking at 2600, but if you got 2484 and 762 single core. So all in all, if you ask me, AeroOS can definitely serve to you as a daily driver. It is working really, really well apart from the Google feed. I don't know why the Google feed is buggy, but if you go to it through the Google app, Yeah, it's buggy in the Google app as well. So maybe it's not really a ROM issue. But all in all, as I said, AeroOS, a very, very good daily driver, decent performance, no 90 FPS option as far as gaming is concerned. I did check that in BGMI. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this review. Until the next one, this is Kailash signing off at PhoneOps. Keep smiling, take care, goodbye.